What is going on, my today people? I really appreciate you all joining me yet again for another. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about everything from Trump's indictment. A little bit of that is supposed to be going on today. Hopefully, we can get a mugshot. So we will see. And we're also going to be talking about just a little bit about AI generated rap superstars. Yes, there was a record label that tried that not too long ago, but seems like they back at it with this new software. Did you guys hear the Jay-Z verse? If you haven't, pause and just go on Google right quick or YouTube, just play it. When I heard it, it was hard to believe that it was AI generated. They now have technology that can mimic voices, like which is crazy. But that leads me to my actual question of the day for the future robots, right? Dear future robots, after hearing this, what does this mean for the record labels? All right, what does this mean for the music industry in total? What does it mean for the artists? Because to me, it sounds like this is going to play a significant role in diminishing whatever role the artists actually play. Because now you can just snatch somebody off the streets if you're going to have AI generated lyrics, AI generated beats, AI generated even voice. Like this is major. This is major, and I think it's a big win for the record industry. Really, they never take losses, but hey, we'll see what effect it actually has. So let's start the show. Yup, and we are back. How's everybody feeling out there? First of all, y'all good? I can't complain on my end. We're just getting ready for Easter. Have fun with the family. Take the kids out, hide some eggs around the yard, and link up with some friends, man. That I realize as an adult now, this is what all these holidays and holy days have been reduced to for me, which is amazing. But it's just time with family, man. I don't really get into a lot of the superstition. You guys will understand why later on in the episode, but it is still a great time to hang with family, friends, loved ones, and all of that. So, and of course, eat good food. I'm a fat boy on the inside. So we'll leave it at that, though. All right. So, guys, we're going to get right into scrap metal media because we kind of got a lot to talk about today. So let's do it. Scrap metal media. And this is Scrap Metal Media for those who have not been introduced yet. Just like scrap metal, you can take it and use it, or you can discard it. But either way, you're going to hear it. And here we go. All right, first, I want to start with Trump's indictment. Yes, I know. Previous episodes, I talked about not believing that this guy would be locked up, and I still stand on that. It would be amazing, and I would love to see it. Just me thinking or putting two and two together. It's never happened to any president before, and we've had presidents that have done worse. So I don't think much will come out of this outside of a lot of money for the media, because they're going to obviously be talking about this 24/7. But we will see. He should be getting a mugshot today. I cannot wait to see it. Let the comedy ensue. Next, let's talk about somebody who used to be a partner of Donald Trump, Vince McMahon. He, for those who know, is a big figurehead in the WWE. I believe he actually started it when it was WWF and all of that stuff back in the day. But they were actually purchased by Endeavor, which is the company that owns the UFC, and apparently they're planning on merging the two. Oof, this one is pretty interesting. They're talking about this is like 20-something billion as far as the new merger. The new acquisition makes it worth that much money, which is crazy if you think about it. But the angle I took, or the angle I was thinking about, is for those who know the Paul brothers, Logan and Jake Paul, more specifically Logan, but Jake has talked about it. They play in WWE. They're always on. They're literally fighters now on the WWE. All right. What does this mean for them? Because for those, again, who know, Dana White, who's the president of the UFC, who are now partners with the WWE, they don't get along with the Paul brothers. He doesn't get along with them at all. So I know damn well this wasn't no big expensive play just to mess with those brothers. But hey, that's just me looking at it from a different angle. But either way, for all my wrestling fans out there, this is going to be very big for you guys. Huge influx of money, and this obviously helps the UFC as well. But man, we might see a lot of crossover now. So, I'm not a major fan of WWE. I used to love WCW back in the day. 90s baby. But this is gonna raise the profile of each of these platforms. Definitely, definitely, definitely. But moving on. Have y'all heard of the BRICS nations? That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Apparently, there's rumors as of now, major rumors, that these nations are planning to come together and create their own currency for international trading. Currently, they're using the US dollar, but I think that's going to be changing soon. Me looking at this, uh, how China's been moving in the past like 10 years, I'm thinking it's a very, very, very intelligent play on their end. Uh, it definitely affects the US. Before, speaking as an American, uh, before I think this country allows another place to play with the American dollar, we'd go to war. So I don't know if this is just trying to scare us into some kind of submission or just better trade dealings or just shift, just even if it's just a shift of power. Like we know China's been kind of at the top, at the head of the table almost in recent, like in the past, like maybe 5 6 years, right? For those who are keeping up with international moves, but this is like this is different. This is different because now you're really trying to take food off our table, man, as far as the money that the US makes on just international trade deals and just the the perception of the US dollar overseas. Like this would cause it to almost crumble. For those that talk about like USD and stable coin and all that kind of stuff, this will cause a huge market crumble. Like, so, hey, I hope I'm wrong. I hope this doesn't lead to some kind of war or conflict with superpowers, because the BRICS nations are all emerging economies. Like, they're all emerging economies. And if they're coming together to play with each other and leaving us out, oof, I can't imagine. But let's move on from that. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that because that's something that's developing here. So, UConn, UConn men and LSU women. They're the NCAA champions right now. How you guys feel about that? Any fans out there? How y'all brackets look? I know y'all are busted because I would have heard about it if y'all won already. But well, you got Jordan Hawkins and Angel Reese. They are actual cousins. I don't know if they're first cousins, second cousins. I'm not sure, but this is the first time in history, recorded history at least, where two cousins have won from the male and females NCAA. I think that's pretty cool. You see other part, you see people talking about how it's gonna be fun at the picnic or whatnot, but I like it, man. I respect it. We'll see what comes out of that. But I wanted to talk about Angel Reese because obviously the big news has been the whole situation with, it almost feels like her versus the world. I also say her versus America with the three Ks on it. Uh, but man, first, before I even get into that, shout out to Caitlin Reese because she played amazing. I give her that. She broke all kind of records. Salute. She was able to dish it and take it. So we can't be upset at her at all. But what we can be upset at is grown ass men calling Angel Reese, POS and stuff like that. Like that's wild. That's wild. Like she's not a child, that's for sure. But she's a 20-year-old girl playing a sport and playing it at a high level, might I add. She's no slump either. And I gave Caitlin Clark her props, but Angel Reese is not to be slept on at all. These are both players that are gonna be in the WNBA. So I got to give her respect where it's due. But David Portnoy is the guy who called her a piece of S, and he's the head and creator of Barstool Sports. We already saw, if you haven't, Gillian Wallow, who have the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, come out and speak out against him saying this. I don't know what universe do you think this is correct at? Like, what universe do you as a grown 40-something-year-old man think this is right? I can't imagine, because they are playing a game. Like this is basketball. It's not like this isn't politics or anything crazy. This is a sport, man, and this is the college level at that. And you're actually going on your your big public platform to talk down and over heat of the moment plays and stuff like that. Over heat of the moment, like competition, is kind of wild to me, man. So I mean, and Portnoy is no, he's not new to drama or anything like that. This guy is always in the news for something crazy. I think he said the N word or something like that. So he's not somebody I even follow. Gillian Wallow are businessmen. They do what they want. I'm sure they signed up with him because it benefited them bag wise. But this ain't somebody that's cool, and that ain't something I rock with at all. So Barstool Sports, thumbs down for sure. But yeah, I do give Caitlin Clark props because she was able to dish it and take it, even when Angel Reese was following her around. Because Caitlin Clark was stone faced, not even paying attention, and she was legit followed around. Like, you're gonna see me, because hey, for those who have watched any of the tourney, if you're watching Caitlin Clark hoop, she's a hooper. And all the teams that they were beating, she was talking junk. That's what they do. She did the whole John Cena, "you can't see me," or what I mean, type situation. She was waving off shooters. Like, that gets to you. That gets to you. So I'm sure girls are in the group chat about her. And LSU, when they got the opportunity, hey, you dished it. You got to take it now. You know what I mean? And don't walk away. I'm gonna follow you until you see me. This is gonna sting. This is gonna burn your heart. But hey, we'll see if this comes out to be a really good rivalry in the WNBA. Man, I'm telling you how the girls' games is evolving. Like, man, and you're talking to somebody who years ago, when ball used to be life for myself, I used to say things like, a girl can never beat me in hoops. I'm washed up, y'all. Let me just tell y'all that I'm washed up now. You get a girl playing at this level, and I'm barbecue chicken. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm barbecue chicken. But hey, let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. I think these two will make for great rivalries for years to come in the WNBA. That remains to be seen. But we know they're both going top few picks for sure. Salute to them. Salute. Now let's move on. Boxing. For those that don't know, this is my favorite sport, and there's tons of fights that I'm really excited for. Let's see. Tank and Ryan Garcia is coming up. That's April 22nd. Who do y'all have? Put in the comments. Who do y'all have? Do y'all have Ryan Garcia, King Ryan, as they like to call him, or do y'all have Tank? Do y'all have Gervonta Tank Davis? My logical brain, my boxing logical brain, is telling me for sure Tank has this. But there's something about Ryan, man. I've always liked Ryan. I mean, I know he's the social media star, the bigger social media star of the two. But obviously, I loved, as a boxing fan, I love Tank as well. But there's the part of me that wouldn't mind seeing like a draw or a Tank lose. I don't know. I would love to see a rematch. But again, going back to my boxing brain, this should be a very easy fight for Tank. I think tentative in the beginning, as he feels Ryan out, gets a hang of his speed, maybe touches him up to the body a little bit just to slow him down, and Ryan should go to sleep. I mean, that just is what it is. Ryan should go to sleep. I just want to see Tank really go through some adversity, though, man. That's how champs are made, right? Mayweather, Maidana. That's we've seen adversity from the greats, so I would love to see that. But I just actually found out that David Benavidez signed on to fight Bubu Andrade. Like, wow. For my boxing fans out there, that's major. So, man, I hope that everything goes through with that, because Bubu has been and Bubu, his name is Demetrius Andrade. His nickname is Bubu. But he's been kind of avoided by a lot of the greats right now. So I can't wait to see that fight. We also got, actually, this weekend, Shakur Stevenson is fighting Yoshino. That should be a dub for Shakur. I can't wait for him to start fighting better talent. Young boy getting older, growing more into his man body. And those people who know boxing know what I mean by that. So I'm excited to, and that's another reason I'm excited to see Tank and Ryan, because this is going to motivate some of these other guys to fight bigger names, to fight each other. Like, we got Devin Haney fighting Lomachenko, which is amazing. I can't wait for that as well. Man, boxing is really good right now. And y'all got to put in the comments who y'all got in that as well. But did anybody see the Anthony Joshua and Jermaine Franklin fight? No. Y'all not as big as boxing fans as I am, but it was decent. Anthony Joshua looks stiff as he always does. He's never been an amazing fighter for me, but he got the win regardless. I think his height and weight really did it. Jermaine Franklin is more of a typical sized heavyweight, and those who know of Anthony Joshua, he's built like a freaking bodybuilder or whatnot, Olympic athlete. But shout out to him on that win. I hope this means he can climb back to the very tip top of the heavyweight division. I don't see him messing with any of those A guys because to me he's a B guy. And for those who don't know, I give grades to my boxers. They're all letters A, B, A through D, pretty much. But yeah, salute to him on that. And my fight of the year, I'm already anticipating it, but I will go on record saying it right now that my fight of the year is gonna be whenever they make the fight, for sure. Whenever they make it official, because I know they've been in talks, but I don't think it's been official yet. Because this guy is waiting for a really big fish fight with Canelo Alvarez, a rematch. But it's gonna be Bivol versus Better BF. All right, for those who know these two, to me these are like whoever wins this is going to be considered pound for pound. And for those who know me right now, Terrence Crawford is my pound for pound. But whoever wins this fight between Bivol and Better BF, whenever they make it, is going to be pound for pound. For sure. For sure. And my boxing people out there notice I didn't talk about Canelo's upcoming fight at all because, we're going to wave that off. He's just going there to collect the belt. But you got to see Bivol again, Canelo. You got to see Bivol again. All right. But hey, like I said, leave in the comments what y'all think, man. For real. How'd y'all like this segment? That's all I got for y'all. That's really all I got for y'all, all right? That was Scrap Metal Media. Peace. Yep. And we are back to the regularly scheduled program. Today, I wanted to talk about All Fools Day, right? April Fool's Day, for those who aren't familiar with All Fools Day. But I wanted to actually get into the calendar. Like, this is a question a lot of people don't even think to ask. But I learned a bit of this a few years back, and I thought it'd be interesting to kind of share some of this information with y'all, and let me know what y'all think. But how did the calendar come into being? Right, there's three people historically that we can credit with what the calendar has come to be, right? And by calendar I mean the months of the year and even the days of the week, right? As far as the months of the year, there's three guys. Two of them are Roman kings, right? And one of them is a pope. Let's start with Numa Pompilius. That's from the 8th century, and he was a king of Rome, and he was the one that first implemented January and February. Prior to that, we were on lunar cycle as far as observance. And by the way, for those who don't know, the calendar for a while was based on the lunar cycles. Now it's based on the solar cycle, right? But Numa Pompilius, or King Numa Pompilius, in the 8th century is the one who actually brought in January and February. January was named after Roman god Janus, and February got its name for pretty much like purification. All right, that's the Latin word for broom. It means purification. So yeah, those two, Numa actually brought in those two, but it didn't really gain too much traction until Julius Caesar in 45, and that's BCE, before Common Era. All right, so when Julius Caesar actually came into power, he decided to, or he was able to, I should say, make it a bit more widespread or respected. And that could be because Rome wasn't as large. It could be, or it could be that he was a bit more respected, maybe. I'm not too sure. It's definitely contested as far as the history goes, but for some reason, more people were going along with it when Julius Caesar decided to really start to implement it even more within the Roman Empire, I guess. But the third person is Pope Gregory VIII, and this was in the 1500s, so that's the 16th century. He went ahead and made not only respected the January and February, because that was already the case, people were already going with that, but He actually made January 1st the beginning of the year. All right. Prior to that, it wasn't the beginning of the year. January 1st being the beginning of the year started around like I said, the 16th century. So at that point, April 1st was the beginning of the year, and that was after a little festival that started towards the end of March. So, like, history is crazy, yo. But Pope Gregory the Eighth went ahead and changed it to January 1st. Again, the reasoning is kind of it's kind of lost to history. I mean, it could have just been because he wanted to become legendary. I mean, we're saying his name centuries later, like thousands of years later. Like, this guy would still be talked about for what he did. That's unless our calendar changes again. But nevertheless, those three dudes were crucial, very crucial in what our calendar has become now, right? And that's where actually April Fools or All Fools Day comes from. When Pope Gregory the Eighth actually changed it, a lot of people were resistant, right, to the first, not the date, not January and February, but they were resistant to January 1st being made the beginning of the year, because like it just made more sense to them for like when the flowers are blooming and stuff like that, which happens around April 1st or just April. It just made more sense for the people at that time for that to still remain the beginning of the year, right? Instead of like the beginning of the year being like in the dead of winter. It just made no sense. And it still doesn't make any sense if you really think about it. But lo and behold, that's what we are now. But those people who were resistant to it were considered April Fools. And this became a festival. People back then looked for any reason to celebrate. And I mean, I think we might still be within that mindset kind of. But people back then, they made almost everything a festival. And that's where April Fool's Day comes from. All right. Now, I got to give y'all the rest of the rundown for the other months, right? Because we talked about January being the name coming from a Roman god, Janus, and he was the god of beginnings and ends, right? Beginnings and endings. That's Janus, Janus. February comes from Februara or Februm, which is Latin for purification. You got March, which comes from Mars. That's a Roman god as well. Let's see. So April, and Mars, by the way, is the god of war, which is amazing. It must have been interesting living in those times. But April comes from Apier, which is Latin for open, which makes sense because you got a lot of flowers blooming and stuff like that, stuff coming back to life. Then you got May, which is Maya, and that's the fertility goddess, and also the goddess of growth, which makes sense. Juno, which is the goddess of marriage and childbirth. That's for June, obviously, guys. And let's see, we got July. July is where it gets a little different. July is named after Julius Caesar, all right? And August is named after Augustus Caesar. So these are two human beings, flesh and blood, that actually lived, that have months that we today people still talk about. All right, so September is actually where it changes again. Now it goes into Latin numbers. All right, not Roman numerals, but Latin numbers. All right, September comes from septem, which is the number 7. All right, and that's in Latin. And October is for 8. November is for 9, and December is for 10. Decade. All right. So those are all Latin numbers, and that's where our calendar comes from. And for those again who remember, in the time of Numa Pompilius, or King Numa Pompilius in the 8th century, there were only 10 months in the calendar. He's the one that came up with January and February to make it 12. So, man, this is very interesting, because to me, this just reiterates how just humanity, we just kind of tumble into solutions or temporary fixes, or just evolve into our current state until we evolve into another state. It's so interesting, and it speaks a lot to just humanity, ingenuity. It's amazing to really think about, y'all. And those are the months, by the way. I didn't even get to the days of the week yet. You got way more Nordic influence there, because obviously the calendar, as far as the months, is heavily influenced by Rome. But let's start with, for all my 7-day Adventists, let's start with Saturday. Saturday is named Saturday because of Saturn, who's the god of time. All right, that's also where you get Saturnalia, which used to be a festival where Christmas got a lot of its, our current day Christmas, we got a lot of our practices from Saturnalia. But that's named after Saturn. All right, Sunday is literally named in reverence to the sun. Monday is named in reverence to the moon. And this is when you get into a lot of the Nordic stuff. Tuesday is named for Tyr. Right, that was a Nordic god, and that's actually, y'all, this is the god of 1v1s. All right, one-on-ones. That's the god Tyr, or Tyr. It might be pronounced Tyr. That's Tuesday. Now Wednesday is named after Odin. All right, for those who know, he was the king of the gods, the Nordic gods, the father of Thor, and a whole bunch of other gods or demigods. Thursday is named after Thor, Thor's day. And Friday is named after Frigga, which is one of Odin's wives, right? How crazy is that? Did y'all know this kind of stuff already? Did y'all think about this already? To me, it's amazing. Like I said, it speaks a lot to just human evolution and how far we've come, how much we're still holding on to the past. And it makes me think, will this be something that changes again anytime soon? I don't know, but we will see. All right. And really, that's all I got for y'all, man. I really wanted to go through that and see if it was something that you guys knew about, or I'm hoping y'all can leave with something now, man. If y'all go on Jeopardy, hey, pick calendar. So yeah, let's move on. This ain't just a prediction. This is bit by bit. And this is bit by bit predictions. All right, so let's get right into it. It's obviously going to be related to my question from earlier. Now, for those that remember, Capitol Records created, or were involved with creating, I should say, a AI generated rapper named FN Mecca, and this was in 2022, like August of last year. It crazy look for those who have seen it. It's a crazy looking metal, like robotic faced, like seemed like it was a brown skinned person. I don't know if it was supposed to be a robotic black person or Hispanic person, but it definitely looked weird, and just it had green hair. I mean, I don't know what they were doing. I remember the person who was penning a lot of this, or I don't know if it was rapping or penning, but the person who was rapping a lot of this stuff actually sued them for some reason. I don't know if they tried to kind of push them out or whatnot, but nevertheless, FN Mecca was gaining a little steam, all right, before everybody on social media said, nah, we're not going for this, right? And Capitol Records actually pulled it down. And it's funny, Capitol Records, if you abbreviate that, it's Cap Records. So, that might be fitting. But nevertheless, it goes right into my prediction. AI generated artists will eventually make a comeback. And I think it's going to be a big comeback. I think by the time they're able to bring it back, we'll be more oiled up. We'll be ready. We'll be ready for it. And I don't think we'll be, honestly, I don't think we'll be none the wiser. I think they'll be using it with the real people first, giving them reference tracks, AI generated lyrics, giving them reference tracks, AI generated beats, and even AI generating their faces. Hey, technology is only going to keep getting better. Right now, what we're seeing is actually the worst it will ever be. Think about that. As far as the technology, we got stuff already. We just had one past the bar not too long ago. That's the dumbest it's gonna be. You get what I'm saying? So things will get crazy. But yeah, guys, that's my prediction. We're gonna see it coming back at tenfold, 20-fold, if anything. Like the record labels don't care about these artists, and now I know they're ecstatic and they're just chomping at the bits now that they don't need real people. Right, because music is music. Like whether you see the artist or not, you're gonna connect with the words. You're gonna connect with the beat. So we will see, but I think it's gonna be major, guys. But we got to keep an eye on this. All right. Now, how'd you guys like this episode, man? It was fun for me. It definitely was. I had a good time. Let me know what y'all think again about the new kind of new format. I switched it up a little bit for y'all that are paying attention. Hope y'all liked it. But man, for me, that's all I got for the Time Capsule today. I'm out. Peace. again, this is Wendy. I appreciate you listening. Dear future robots, peace.